one thing I want to talk about is the cross-court nick, and in all honesty, there's a distinct lack of how to hit this shot on squash skills. And I think there's a reason for that. I think that's actually because it's a very hard shot to actually teach.
Yeah.
And we all know that everybody wants to be able to execute a cross-court nick. It's it's the trophy shot. But realistically, from a technical standpoint, it's actually quite tricky to teach, and it feels like your philosophy here lends itself quite well to being able to hit a cross-court nick, because it is feel. You need to know where the nick is. You have to have spent a reasonable amount of time on court, and then you have to ultimately trust the process.
Yeah.
Do you agree with this?
Yeah, definitely. And it's a really interesting shot, as you say, because often it's talked about as something which is exclusive to the superstars. And again, I've had numerous lessons with high-level players, high-level juniors. Says, I can't hit cross-court nick. I can't hit that shot. That's not within my capabilities, which I always disagree with. I would disagree with it with an amateur player as well, beginner player even. Essentially, I think one of the important sort of start points to understand with something like a cross-court nick is removing the reality of all the possibilities and angles and things which can be perceived as quite difficult. It's for me, a very intuitive shot. And as you're saying there, Jethro, it can be and will be hit from multiple different angles and positions. Sometimes the ball can be right out in front. I know one of your players, let's say you've had Rami, where he can take it right in front with quite a short swing and just sort of touch the ball in there. Other players come right around the side of it. Sometimes it's off the sidewall. So there's a lot of variables of how the ball can move into the zone before the cross-court nick is hit. And what that means, of course, there isn't one specific setup position or technique which means that shot can be hit consistently. But there are themes and elements which are necessary. So I think from a technical point of view, one of the few things would be just that understanding of the side of the ball. And find a way to get the racket round that side of the ball, because essentially, we need the spin on the side, but we also need to be able to obviously create a very, aggressive cross-court angle on the shot. So what do we need to get the racket around the side of the ball? Well, we need this versatility in the wrist, we need the feel in the grip. And essentially, as I said at the beginning of the playlist, when we're hitting drop shots, play with this idea of what does the ball do? Where does it go when my strings do different things with it? So if I hit one or two cross-court nicks and I don't have enough angle, the ball's not going all the way across. So let's try coming around the side of the ball a bit more. Let's try maybe taking the ball a bit more in front. But it's much more about figuring it out. And ideally from a point where the player already understands what it feels like to hit the ball cleanly. Because for me, people that hit cross-court nicks more and hit them particularly well also hit the ball incredibly cleanly. And those that don't find it way more difficult. That's just a fact. Because that clean ball striking element suggests feel, rhythm, timing, and all these things that are kind of part of a well-struck ball. So I would say, to improve your cross-court nick, work on your ball striking, make it more relaxed, make the swing more relaxed, make it smoother, make it cleaner. So cleaner means it's less effort for better outcome, rather than bigger effort, not so much outcome, it will make a better noise. And then really it's a case of bringing in this idea that the movement is super versatile for a cross-court nick. It's definitely not a shot that you can hit with your feet stuck in any one position. To be super versatile with the feet, versatile with the swing, and probably finally that you're not trying to hit it, you're not trying to hit the nick, you just try to hit the ball really cleanly on the side, and you'll find the angle and you'll find the kind of feeling of it as it starts to develop.
So it's all good in theory.
Yeah.
Let's just try and put it into practice and see
Sure.
what this process looks like.
Sure. Yeah, better I thought it would be.
I mean, that last one you could clearly see coming around the outside of the ball. You know, you're really hitting
Yeah.
there, aren't you?
Yeah.
You found your range, you found your angle. But
Yeah.
is there anything else particularly that's going through your head?
Yeah, I mean, really bringing myself quite far behind the ball. I think, again, this is a shot, probably one of the most all-in shots that you're going to get. You just got to go for it. If you half play this shot and you don't fully commit, then it's probably not going to work very well. So just putting myself in a position which just says, I'm clearly going for this. I'm not trying to be deceptive or show a straight ball. I'm just opening up my whole body to give myself that angle. And then, as you just said there, Jethro, as well, like I would say I'm using way more wrist as part of that shot there than I would probably anywhere else, to add this extra slice to get a steeper, faster angle over into the corner, which again just illustrates that necessity to be able to go from, for example, a volley drop where my wrist shape will be way more consistent and simple to keep the ball parallel to the front, parallel to the sideball and going nice and short. But then with that one there, suddenly, you know, I'm into something here where I'm actually snapping the wrist around the ball to create the angle, which for me just again highlights that importance of having, yes, foundations and fundamentals, but plenty of ability to adapt, you know, around that. The other massive factor which I think can be often overlooked is the reason to practice that shot and execute it sometimes in a match is it's just so fun. And it's something I've not really mentioned at all yet, and I should have mentioned much more, is that hitting the ball well, being creative, hitting it short, hitting cross-court nicks, doing different things with it is fun. Creativity is fun. And when we do things that are fun, everything operates so much better. You know, we enjoy it more, but we're going to execute at a higher standard as well. We're going to produce our best. So I think having cross-court nicks as part of your practice environment, even if it's only for a short period at the end of a session, do it. It's fun, it's different. See if you can hit a cross-court nick like Rami or Shabagi or Gouad or whoever, and you know, if you do hit one, you can have a little celebration, and that can't be a bad thing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Hadrian,
no problem. Thank you.
Us today. I think, you know, the progression of the session, we've covered the fundamentals. We've understood your process here at Elite Squash, and then ultimately seen you hit 3 perfect cross-court nicks in a row. So
15 years too late.
Yeah, so thank you, and I hope you guys at home enjoy it and take what you can and use it to become better squash players.